Max Parry is an independent journalist joining us out of New York. Max, welcome. So this is Joe Biden's first overseas. How do you see it unfolding, and how do you see it being perceived in the world?
Well, I would say that I think that there's a huge shadow hanging over this trip by President Biden to Europe, and that is that he's making contradictory statements, saying that the U.S. isn't seeking conflict with Moscow, but then, of course, proceeds to make threats against them. But there's a real shadow hanging over this trip and these statements, which is that this series of summits is occurring amid revelation. The U.S. Was once again caught red-handed engaging in espionage against their own European allies, including spying on senior European government officials, such as German Chancellor Angela Merkel, through Danish spy cables. So this series of summits is back. Merkel and French President Emmanuel Macron have been forced to express indignation and outrage over the exposed wiretapping by the NSA and the British GCHQ of private telecommunications of the U.S.'s own supposed European allies. Right. It's the height of hypocrisy here for Biden to be, saying that he's going to be rebuking Putin and Russia over alleged interference in Western electoral processes, just as the U.S. is being exposed for doing the very thing that it's accusing Russia of. Right. So I think this trip has been a huge embarrassment for the U.S. and Biden amid these revelations.
Max, when you see the nature of his speech, it's like he's speaking back at home. I don't know if there's a country where U.S. troops are not present, but he said that the United States is back. I'm quoting him. But many don't want to see the United States back. Many would say that U.S. imperialism over the past decades hasn't gone so well.
Yeah, well, that statement is something that usually sends a chill down the spine of people around the world, especially in the global South. But I think amid these revelations about, illegal surveillance of the U.S.'s own allies, while just as Biden is purporting that, the U.S. is recommitting, there's a restoration of commitment to NATO, and that Atlantic alliance has never been stronger, just as there's very obvious distrust being sowed within the alliance. And, the majority of these European countries, such as Denmark and Britain, are basically vassal states for the U.S. And, a country like Germany, which, amid the pending completion of the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, the U.S. doesn't trust them enough to the point where they're tapping Angela Merkel's personal phone, and also the telecommunications of the German president as well. So,
right. Yeah.
I think any message that Biden wanted to send to Russia and the world cut and undermined amid this scandal, and it's been nothing but a huge embarrassment for the U.S. and especially going into this meeting with Putin, where he's going to be rebuking him for the very thing that the U.S. has been exposed to doing, which is meddling in the sovereign affairs of other countries.
Right, yeah, so there may be an awkward moment or two. Max, thank you very much indeed. Max Parry, the independent journalist, joining us out of New York.